One thing I believe in first is humility. Even the Bible tells me that those ones who serve are greater than those ones who are served. I started this way back in 2004 when I became a principal. And in all my schools, I've had a routine of serving students personally. And this one has helped me. I believe that when, food is everything. Hmm? When you connect with people at a point where there is food, it changes their perspective. It changes even their thinking. There is no time they'll ever try to do something that is negative or something that's negative or that's something that is harmful towards you. And even when I serve them, I tell them this hand that is serving you, it's a blessed hand. But this hand can also do what? Can also curse. So these boys really get excited. At first, when I came, I was doing it here. Even the teachers were excited. They later started joining me. The teachers have owned this. When I've come, like when I came up with Ogal, the teachers owned it. It became theirs. When I started serving the students, the teachers come in, they make it theirs. So I started serving the boys the girls in 2004, and I did that one throughout my stay at Eastern Mission Girls. When I went to Regina, I was also doing it. And after I moved from there, I went to Sameta, and this is where now I had, we had only less than 200 boys. And I had to be very close to them so that I know their thinking. Even when you are serving them, sometimes you look at their faces. Yeah? You look at the faces, you see somebody is not so happy. Then maybe you book an appointment with that boy. Because when people are serving, ideally they are supposed to be happy. But when somebody is serving and is not happy, then probably there is something that is troubling that boy or that girl. By the year 2012, Summit had over 1,600 boys. But because of frequent arson that took place in that school, by the time I took over on paper, I took over 207 boys. Records are there to show. But on the ground, I inherited less than 200 boys. But I want to thank God that I got focused together with my staff. I coupled a staff, a team, and then we started working. We started looking for students. Then by the time I left 3 years later, Sameta had close to 700 boys. So I think those are some of the things that I want these people to learn, that humility is very important for someone to be successful in life. And it also draws me closer to these people so that, we demystify this issue of the old principle that was so feared. Now, going to Eastern Mission girls, at first, it was something that was scary. I was asking myself, how can a man go and head a school? I just want to tell you that what was there actually was not a school. It was a name. Because I was given the ground, there were no classes, and the students were very few. I inherited 8 students in Form 1, and there were 22 students in Form 2. And I remember by the year 2005, I had already done some building out of school savings. I told you that at first I thought that was really odd because at times I could be called Mr. Headmistress. These girls, even if we had madams, whenever they had all their problems, inner problems that they are supposed to share with females, they were sharing those problems with me. So by the time I left that school in December 2010, we had 251 girls, out of whom at least 150 were boarders. Remember, initially we started with only 3 girls as boarders. And because they could not stay alone in the compound, sometimes we could get some ladies from the village to come and keep them company. The localization set in. And by that time, I was a senior principal. I did not complain. I went to Siaya. I started working. When I went to Siaya, I found 440 boys in that school, and I embarked on work to ensure that the school at least becomes extra county by the time I leave, just like the school I had left. So by the year 2021, the school became extra county. And by the year 2023, February, when I left for Gabriel Boys High School, the school had over 1,500 boys, and the school was already extra county school. So if you can count, I have headed 5 schools. This is the 5th school. And in all these schools, I have done my best. Like in Nyang'acha High School, I told you it's a very young school. By now it's 12 years. But I want to tell you it challenged giants in Siaya. Because at one point in the year 2021, we were the second best after Maranda, and we were separated by just 0.05. And that year, all our students that we had, 174 boys, scored C plus and above. The following year, 2022, because we had achieved 100% transition, I came up with another idea. I sat with my teachers and I told them, now that we have achieved almost everything, what we need to do, we want to do something new. I realized in our performance, we had not scored an A since the school started doing its KCSE in 2014. So I set out in 2022 with the teachers. I told them, now that we have achieved a mean of 9 in 2021, we have achieved 100% transition, there is something that we've not achieved. And we had to go for it. That's how we mentored students with an aim of ensuring that they score A plane. When I arrived in Kebreo Boys High School, I found it's an established school. Then there are some things I looked for because I always wanted to do a new thing in this new school. And I had promised the board, and I had promised the students, I had promised the parents that this year, 2023, we must do something new.
I have worked under 3 principals. The first one was Andrew Gesora, who had been here for a long time. Then there was Ezekiel Kurgat, also was here for 2 years. Then now Nyang'acha, who came in last year. And I want to say that all the 3 gentlemen had their own strengths, and people are always different, you know. Leaders are different because human beings are unique in their nature and how they do things. So I really want to appreciate all of them because I know Gasora put in a very strong foundation that actually has seen the school is far. Kurwat also came in at a time when it also was necessary because he also put in a lot of infrastructure in the school. So these people have had their own successes in the school. And when you look at even the performance has been growing since then. But Clement also came last year. I found the school has, had a number of positives. But again, the school had not scored any A plane since its inception. So, and when he came, we noted that one, and that is what he actually started working on. Because when you talk of the mean, in terms of the mean, the school was already okay. Now, when he came, we noted that the school had not scored an A plane since, and that's what he started working on. And I want to say that one of his strengths that I've seen is more closer to students. I think which also really assisted in nurturing the strong boys to the extent of getting the airplane. Is more closer to students. He engages them more. Again, he knows many students. He's somebody who is very social in nature. In his nature is that he's very social, and I think that gives him an edge in terms of how he relates with the students. So again, he brings them very close to him. He's also able to go deeper into how the students perform, identifies the top. Then he's very close to them. So I think the way he socializes with the students is a bit different when you compare the other principals who we have had here, but who have also, contributed immensely in where the school is in terms of infrastructure and performance.
Deno, so waweke ingine hapa, watengeneze line mbili. Ingine ipite hapa. Sorry?
wewe unatakiwa kufanya hapa. My boss should be working here alongside Mutina. Madam Mutina.
Pita watu wengine wapite hapa
kama Madam Mutina.
Pita hapa.
Sasa twende mbio.
You are wasting time, eh?
Utashiba kabisa.
Utatoka.
Utatoka. Kama na smile usichukue ile picha yenye nimekasirika.
Lakini sasa unajua shida like this. Yeah. Kwenda kazi sasa. Boys. Sio sawa.